Back in his homeland of Korea, Hwoarang was drafted into the military and assigned to a Spec Ops unit. Although his success in various missions was highly regarded, his penchant for disobeying rules and orders gave his senior officers more than a few headaches. Hwoarang felt a strange emptiness within him. He recalled longingly of the days hustling money in street fights, the rush of hand-to-hand combat, and his fight against Jin Kazama. The military could not quell these yearnings. One day, the announcement of the next tournament reached Hwoarang's ears. For the first time in years, his blood began to stir. He would defeat Jin, Heihachi Mishima, and anyone else who dared to stand in his way of claiming Mishima Zaibatsu as his own. Bursting with anticipation, Hwoarang slipped out from the military base and headed for the tournament.
Hey everyone, welcome back with Bean O Mac. Today we're going to start our new series, Tekken 4. This wasn't voted into the poll, but I put it up a few times, you know, a variety of the Tekken games and stuff like that. And I just kind of wanted to play this, get a little more variety on the channel and the fighting games, as far as Fighting Friday goes. So I'm going to play as not everybody in the game, but I mean, like, this episode's going to focus on Hwoarang, our first one. I'm just going to play as the characters that I enjoy playing as generally in the series, as well as characters that are the most relevant to the story. So, for example, you know, Jin, Kazuya, and Heihachi are characters I don't really ever play as in the series, despite them being like the main characters and stuff like that. But for story relevance, you know, I am going to play as them all at some point, you know, down the line. So it's probably going to be around maybe 8 playthroughs in total of different characters. And there might be a few bonus episodes. So my rule for this series is I've always gone in the past and just kind of cleared the game on the easiest difficulty with as many all the characters in the game and stuff like that. You know, just kind of cheesing it and stuff like that. This time though, for YouTube, obviously, you know, that's not going to be very good content. So to start off with Hwoarang, he's not my favorite, but he used to be one of my favorites back in the day. There's just a lot of characters you can play as now. So I'm just going to go based off of memory completely on his character, you know, playthrough. So I'm not a competitive player or anything like that, so you're not going to see any crazy combos or play at high difficulties or anything like that. You might even see me get my ass kicked a few times, honestly. But I'm just going to kind of play on the normal default difficulty for this game. And yeah, just kind of play through all the characters. And when I get to characters that I'm not familiar with, such as, you know, Jin, Heihachi, Kazuya, you're not gonna see it, but I am gonna make the actual effort of learning, you know, their combos and stuff like that. So I might not know like all the crazy, you know, juggles and stuff like that, but I am gonna know their basic combos. So that way, you know, the gameplay doesn't get repetitive and you're just seeing me do the same combos over and over again. Of course, with characters that I do enjoy playing, which you'll learn later on. I'm gonna hopefully, you know, obviously since I know their movesets a lot more, hopefully I'm gonna be able to make the, you know, make it a little more diverse. And in the bonus I might have some bonus episodes of like characters that like I don't usually play as or something like that. If it's a bonus episode, it's probably going to be, you know, just because I have to unlock. You know, I have to unlock characters for it. You know, I think like Heihachi's the last character in the game you unlock, except maybe Combat. I can't remember, which would be kind of weird if like you know, he got dissed by Combat in the series. But I wouldn't put it past them to do that. But now we're just kind of focusing on you know, the gameplay here and stuff like that. I always lose my train of thought whenever whenever I do these playthroughs for whatever reason. This was Steve's debut in the game, but he is not what he would become later on. Because in starting in Tekken 5, you know, his dodges, he would actually move. He'd pretty much be like free side steps into new moves, whereas in this game he kind of just stands in place. And you know, it's definitely more accurate to a boxer, of course, in this game. But yeah, he kind of just leaves himself open regardless a lot of the time. And it's tough to actually dodge characters' attacks with Steve in this game as much. But Tekken 4, folks, I was thinking of starting with Tekken 3, you know, just to start, you know, the full story and all that stuff and do it proper. Because, like, I'm not going to play Tekken 1 and 2. Those are just not my kind of games. I mean, maybe in the future I will, but not before I beat the other Tekken games and stuff like that, just because I started with 4, and 3's not bad. Not bad at all. Obviously, it's arguably the most popular entry in the series as far as fans go. I think that's undisputed. Maybe Tekken 5, but I still feel like Tekken 3 usually gets the nod when it comes to Tekken games. But unfortunately, the emulator site that I used to get everything on, unfortunately, it's gone down. Poor Vim's Lair. He lost pretty much. He still has a lot of games on there. You know, I think most of them, honestly, but the good chunk of games that you would want on there are just all gone. You know, like, it got taken down by Nintendo, but people don't really talk about the fact that it wasn't just Nintendo and Sega. Like, you know, all the Tekken games are down. The Mortal Kombat games are down. The GTA games are all down and stuff like that. Pretty much all the major franchises were taken down. Don't worry, they still got the licensed games though. You know, SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom and whatnot. Interestingly enough, they also have some stray Nintendo games. Like, they didn't take down like some of the Kirby games for whatever reason. I don't know if that was an oversight on his part, in which I hope it wasn't, because I don't want that guy to get in trouble or sued. Or if it was just like Nintendo's like, yeah, you know, we don't think anybody gives a shit about this game. Which, I don't know, knowing Nintendo, I mean, they freaking protect Game & Watch games with a reputation and stuff like that. But starting with Tekken 4, just because I already had it pre-downloaded on my computer, so. Plus, like I said, it's a game I started with. And I think this game is, you know, it's gotten not too popular these days, but it's gotten a little bit of a cult following at this point. It's kind of like, it reminds me of Resident Evil 6. You know, I'm a big fan of Resident Evil 6, and that it has its audience. However, I think the majority of opinion in the communities that they're involved in is that they're just kind of generally bad games. In this game, I think the issue, you know, people like, look at this stage, for example, you know, it's got the incline right behind us. You know, it's got these weird bumps with the glasses that we're fighting on. And so, I mean, it kind of disrupts regular competitive gameplay. I think wall hits was an issue, even though I think it would come back in Tekken 5, so I don't exactly know if that was an issue or not. I can't remember. But it did, I think it started in this game, right? Maybe I'm just completely out of my mind. Because I can't imagine a Tekken game not having walls, honestly. But also, I mean, when you look back on this game compared to Tekken 5 as well, there really is a big lack of combos, too, for a lot of the characters. Tekken 5 really expanded on that front exponentially. Like, there's a difference between, you know, like 100 moves to like 200 moves for each character, which is pretty impressive. But during all my ramblings there, we have made it to the final stage. Oh, jeez Louise. I remember as a kid, because this came out in 2001, I was born in 99. I always used to see my brothers play this game, and I always used to just call Heihachi Grandpa for some reason. I don't know, I was a kid. I thought it was charming. Thought I was hilarious or whatever. But, I don't know, yeah, as far as this game's legacy goes, I think it's just kind of to the casual fans' perspective. Because there is a lot of good in this game, you know, I think the storyline is the best it's ever been, honestly. It doesn't have the otherworldly elements, but I think what this game did best, that all the other games in the series, that a lot of fans complain about to this day, is they gave the majority of people in this game something to do, and a big part of that is a small roster, no doubt. And it's not just the real issues that people say, because I mean, you know, it's not as realistic as people say. I mean, there still are some, you know, real life issues you gotta deal with, you know, depression and, you know, debt and all that sort of stuff, getting out of shape and things of that nature, but for the most part, it is in an over-the-top fashion. Hwoarang won the tournament, and now Mishima Zaibatsu was his to control. But to everyone's surprise, he immediately sold off Mishima Zaibatsu to another company. He then left on another journey. There was one last task he had to finish. I don't know why there's no narrator for these midsection ones.
You're finally
This is
here.
where all the memes are from. All the memes are from, folks.
What do you want?
I never got to fight you at the tournament. I'll take you on right here, right now.
There's no reason to fight.
You ain't got one? Well, I do.
But yeah, I mean, this game, this is a canon thing in the game, as you'll learn later on why when you play as like Jin and stuff like that. But I mean, I think the realistic areas you fight in, it kind of is reminiscent of Street Fighter a little bit, just without the crowds there. The arenas are the best, in my opinion, and the story is just, it is a little more grounded in comparison to other Tekken games and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, the arenas, the music, the vibe of the whole game. I didn't like that they didn't have music on the main menu though. That's something that a lot of people praise, but I just kind of was like, I don't know, I'm just not a big fan of no menu music like that. It just makes it feel empty, and not in like a good way. But I mean, this game, like, it established so many plot lines for a lot of the characters going forward, as well as some nice endings. They still had a few joke endings and stuff like that, but this game did so much good with establishing a lot of the future of the series. But as you can see, that's going to be about it for this video. So let's look at his epilogue, and then I'll get my outro.
Sergeant! Desertion is an offense punishable by court-martial. Give yourself up, soldier!
Oi.
Fire!
Oh my goodness, this is what I mean. It's still over the top.
Kazama, remember, I kicked your ass back there. Hey, you listening? I'll give you a chance to even the score at the next tournament. You better show up.
Ceasefire!
Alright folks, I'll talk more about character development, how I think it's kind of stunted in modern day Tekken and all that sort of stuff next episode in the series. And you know, give my thoughts on the storylines and how important story is to a fighting game series, as well as how good I think they were back in the day. I'll say all that stuff next week, you know, my thoughts on that. But that's going to be it for this week's episode. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out next week's episode on Fighting Friday as well. And above all else, please remember to have a nice day.